Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at spider diagrams and mind maps. I realized in the last few videos that I made on how to study that we looked at a lot of things about good ideas of how to pre-plan your study, how to go about making flashcards using the Lightner box and using mnemonic devices, and maybe how to summarize your notes or what you should do when you're doing past papers. So there was quite a lot of detail in the last 4 videos that we were looking at, but I realized that I didn't actually do anything on what actually makes a good spider diagram or a good mind map, and some students were asking me, do I have any ideas for them? So today it's a very quick video and we're just going to look at 3 different mind maps or 3 different spider diagrams. Although there are differences between a mind map and a spider diagram, I'm going to use those terms interchangeably in this video because most students tend to approach them both as more or less the same way, even though there are differences between them. So let's have a look at maybe what makes a poor spider diagram or a poor mind map. So this is the first one here. As you guys can see, it's quite a lot of detail. Okay, so it probably is more of a spider diagram than anything, even though it is a little bit hierarchical, that we do have sort of main ideas in green and more detailed ideas sort of coming out of that in a sort of more yellowish color, I suppose. So there is a lot going on here. Imagine trying to sit down and memorize all of this. You know, it looks quite detailed. It looks like it would put yourself under a lot of stress trying to do all of this at once. So you're probably better breaking this down into like smaller mind maps and smaller spider diagrams. This one that this student did was on John Williams' the Superman theme. That is what we study with. It's one of the set works we study for GCSE music in Northern Ireland with the CCEA exam board. So there is a lot going on, and also it doesn't seem to be that well organized that you have no idea where to start. You know, it's just all the information's everywhere. Where do you actually start? What's more important than other pieces of information? What is the main things you should know? How do different pieces of information relate to each other? It's kind of hard to see that when everything is just one of 2 possible colors. So maybe, you know, having different colored boxes for different things might help, and maybe not having so much detail here. It really does look like this student just rewrote all of their class notes or all of the analysis provided by the exam board. So this probably isn't the best way to go about it. So not the greatest mind map because it's just too much. It's too difficult to see where to start. You don't have any idea of how points relate to each other, and it's a bit chaotic, and it's just too much detail, I suppose, overall. So let's look at the next one to see what would sort of make a better mind map. Now this is a different set work. This is from Berlioz's Symphonie Fantastique. So for this mind map, it's just, or spider diagram, I suppose, we're just looking at theme B. So we're not looking at theme A or any of the other themes inside of this set work. We're just looking at theme B. So it's a bit more focused, less information to take in. It's far better organized, I think, than the last mind map, where you can see that we start here the first time that we hear theme B and all of the features of that theme, the first time we hear it. And then we move on to the second time, the third time, the fourth time, and so on. You can follow the arrows along. And so you're actually going sort of clockwise around the mind map, which is far, far better. You can sort of get an idea of the structure and where to start. Again, it's just okay because there's a lot of detail here, and we don't really get an idea of how this relates to other set works, or you know, how would we go about actually remembering all of this detail. But at least it's far better than the last one we were looking at, which was trying to do an entire set work and all of the points about that set work all at once. So this provides a little bit more focus, and it's more color coordinated as well. So probably the best example though would be this one. So what makes this a better mind map or a better spider diagram? Well, for one thing, we are focusing on just the harmonic features. So we're not looking at anything to do with the melodies. We're just looking at things like keys, chords, cadences, special chord progressions, the harmonic features of 3 set works here. One is by Eurythmics, very well-known piece, Sweet Dreams. Another one is by Ash, called Burn Baby Burn. And the third set work is by Florence and the Machine, and the piece is called Cosmic Love. So we're looking at the harmonic features of 3 set works at the same time. So that's a really good thing to try and do with your mind maps and your spider diagrams, is maybe try to bring together, different set works at the same time, and maybe just looking at the harmonic features, or maybe the rhythmic features, the melodic features, or the structure or instrumentation, orchestration, that type of thing. So pick out one musical feature, in this case the harmonic feature, and just apply that to several set works at the same time, and then try to make connections between those set works to see how are they similar or different from one another. In this one, for example, we can see that in Florence and the Machine's Cosmic Love, we've got this idea of new vocal harmony and the use of multi-tracking, and I've actually drawn a line out of that, connecting that to Eurythmics' Sweet Dreams, because the use of parallel thirds and sixths, there's a lot of multi-tracking that happens there as well. So that makes a connection between those 2 set works that you wouldn't necessarily see if you were studying them separately. Yeah, same thing here with Florence and the Machine and Eurythmics. They're both using the Aeolian mode, so there's another connection. Also, there's quite a bit of dissonance in Florence and the Machine, and there's also dissonance in Ash's Burn Baby Burn. So we can see those connections there as well. And even between Eurythmics and Ash, we can also see that the harmony in some places is quite limited, and that same limitation also occurs almost in the same type of place, the middle 8 section. It also occurs in Ash's Burn Baby Burn. So there's a couple of good connections that you can make between those set works, and that makes it a lot easier to revise, because one point will naturally lead on to another, rather than just like that first mind map like that first mind map where we're just trying to remember all of this information. It's just putting yourself under so much unnecessary stress. You're really not spending your time wisely trying to create a mind map like this, because you're really just rewriting your notes and rewriting the analysis. You already should have all that in the score or written somewhere on in an A4 sheet of paper. So just transferring all of that into a mind map isn't the best thing to do. You've got to condense it down and summarize it, and then organize it in such a way that you can make connections with other pieces of music. So this is the worst, where you've just got everything sort of higgledy-piggledy all over the place. The next one isn't so bad, but still there's quite a bit going on here, because this is just theme B. Imagine trying to do theme A and theme C, and how many themes are there in the piece? You'd have loads of mind maps. So rather than doing that, the best thing to do would be to combine maybe 3 set works together and try and make connections between them. So hopefully that helps answer maybe some of the questions you may have on what makes a good mind map or a good spider diagram. Okay everyone, thanks very much for watching. There are plenty of other videos on my channel that deal with this subject and other topics you may be interested in. So if you want more, please like and subscribe. Leave any questions or suggestions you may have in the comments section below, and I'll do my best to get round to them. So do let me know if there are other things you would like me to cover, and I'll see you again next time.